Okay, well, welcome, Jane. I'm so glad that you are my guest today.
Thank
And
you.
would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Jayne Chilkes. I've been a healer since 1981, soul channel since the 90s. I'm a hypnotherapist, past life therapist, now BQH, Beyond Quantum Healer. I offer DNA activations and Akashic record clearings and a few other things.
Wonderful. And you're located in the United States, aren't you?
Yes, by a beautiful lake, Canandaigua Lake. It means the chosen spot.
Oh,
And the
wow.
Seneca tribe was supposed to be born here. Opposite, there's a hill called Bear Hill, and the Seneca tribe was supposed to be born here. So it has a little bit of magic.
Oh, wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah,
And you know how I love water and the mystical abilities of water.
yes,
So yeah, it should be
yes,
amazing to live there. Yeah.
yes,
And I think you're originally from the UK, aren't you?
yes, from London on the Central Line,
Ah,
east
yeah.
of London,
Ah,
Redbridge.
ah, yeah.
Yeah.
And how did you get into healing?
Oh, I was at college, fashion college, and I started to open up unbeknownst to myself what was happening. And I knew something was going on with me, but no one explained what was going on with me. And then a friend was in a circle, a private circle, and I was introduced to my first teacher. Thankfully, I was taken care of because no one knew what was going on with me. And she taught me to open the chakras, close the chakras. We sat in a group. There was about 8 of us every 2 weeks for 5 years.
Wow.
And she was a trance channel. And in the end, I thought, I really don't want to be a trance channel. I just want to be a healer. Because spirit would try and take me over, or any of us. And I thought, I don't know what to do with me. And I burst into tears every time because I didn't know what to do with me. So now, gradually, I learned to be a channel where I heard the voices rather than them taking me over. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
So you do work as a channel, don't you?
Yeah, well, then I met a second main teacher many years later who changed my life yet again because she was a full-blown soul channel for the masters and angels, and I'd never met anyone like that. This was 96. I never heard of anything like that.
Yeah.
It blew my world apart in a most magnificent way because she channeled twin flames, and I met my twin flame at a soul level, and that completely changed everything because of the love, the divine love that a twin flame has is beyond belief, beyond angels, beyond spirits, beyond anything.
Wow.
And so that was a real education. So I was going to my second main teacher for wisdom. That's what I thought I was going for.
Yeah.
I had no idea whatsoever I'd become like her.
Amazing.
And so after 2 years of going to her, I spent every Wednesday with her for about 7 hours. I started to merge with the beings she was channeling. So little by little, I'd say a word, and then I'd say a sentence, and then I'd say a paragraph, and then I would feel them. After about 6 months of going to her, I would see them in the room.
Yeah.
And that started me to open up and blossom.
Wow, amazing.
I had to step out of society, really, because I couldn't have done both.
Yeah.
I mean, I went shopping and everything, but I stayed at home listening to the recordings all day long.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to understand the language.
Yeah.
Because it's divine love language. So it was all new and special.
Yeah. And it takes time to integrate it, doesn't it?
Very much so. So it took me 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've also published books, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
could you tell me a bit about the books?
Yes, this is my first book, The Call of an Angel.
And what is the subtitle?
A Guide to Spiritual Awakening, Open Your Psychic and Healing Abilities.
Yeah.
So it's the beginner's stage, and it's a bit about my story, how I opened up, and then it's all about the chakras. And actually, I'm using hypnosis scripts in it to help clear the chakras in a unique way, and just the basics for anyone who's starting off and would like the foundation of working with the chakras. I still think that's the foundation for me anyway.
Yeah.
I still use it after 40 years. So it just explains what might be happening to them if their third eye is opening and if they want to meet their angels and so forth.
So do you work with angels when you also are working with chakras at the same time?
Yes.
Ah, wow, that's beautiful. So do you think there's a specific angel connected to each chakra, or?
Oh, there are, but that I
Yeah.
would put in a more advanced stage. This is just the basic colors for the chakras, the sounds, the planets, the planetary link. And then I also say, meditate with the chakras, open the chakras up, then call your angels in your meditation to help you in terms of sending prayers to others. So as you're sending prayers to others, and maybe you have a healing book in front of you or an altar, you're calling in your healing angel teams. And thus you're starting that link with your angels. Yeah.
I think that's a wonderful idea to do it like that, because I think that many people have issues with chakras that are too open or too closed.
Oh, yes.
And so I think working with angels to keep that in balance, I think that should work perfectly. Yeah.
Well, it's an added tool to bring your angels in, yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing I emphasize, especially at the beginning, close your chakras down after you've opened them, just for self-protection as you go out into the 3D world, especially now.
Yeah.
Especially now. When you're beginning, if you get used to it, it's okay, but you don't want to be wide open in the 3D at the moment.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just like the doors of your house, isn't it? I mean, you don't keep the doors wide open when you go out.
Keep a lock on them.
Yeah. It's good to open the windows now and then, but you don't keep it open all the time.
If you can. I mean, highly sensitive people find it quite hard. I mean, you're still open, but I believe in using some self-protection techniques, like calling in Archangel Michael in front of you, beside you, behind you, above you, below you, that kind of thing, so that you feel protected.
Exactly. Yeah. And what was your second book about?
Okay. I hope you can see that.
12 Steps to Heaven. And I can't read the subtitle. Could you read it?
Introducing Twin Flames, Angels and Soul Wisdom. So this is when I met my second main teacher that I was describing, called Pam. And it's full of channelings. And both books, and all books, have exercises in them for people to do. So there's 12 exercises at the back of that 12 Steps to Heaven for people to meet their twin flame, to keep themselves open, to feel their ascending, to meet the masters, and just gain some wisdom from the masters, from the channelings in there. In case it's more for people who think they're on that route of opening as a channel, not a medium, a channel. Because there's a subtle difference.
What do you think is the difference?
I think it's a great difference, actually. A medium has a great role in bringing forward those who have passed over, so that there is a connection and a healing going on from the family members on earth to the family member in heaven. And that's their important role, to help calm family members that everything's okay. But they are fine. Usually they are fine. It's not, and usually the people on earth are not fine.
Exactly.
So that's their role. That's how I see it. And a soul channel or a channel is channeling wisdom from the masters and angels and giving healing in a different way.
I see. So there is a big difference.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's just a different role. We all have roles.
Yeah, exactly. But they're
all as important. They're all as important as each other.
Yeah. And could you give us an example of the channelings that you do?
Yeah. I haven't got a picture with me, but the main guide is called Dr. Kruger. And when I was learning, he would come through my teacher Pam and just sit on the sofa and talk to me like for an hour. Just like being a normal friend on this plane. but he was full of wisdom, and he was and he is a bit of a psychologist. But he says he's a go-between, and he was the only one who put his hand up to be a go-between in the soul group, the masters and the angels, and us humans. So he put his hand up to be that in-between person. And he's very, very clever and very funny. So I channel him first. He always comes to answer people's questions. And then the second person comes through called Lily. Now, Lily was on the earth plane in the 60s who met my teacher, Pam. So Lily was giving healing, but guess what? She was channeling Dr. Kruger all day long in trance at that time in the 60s. And he would do psychic operations through her, and she would never even know who came in the room. She didn't know, she wasn't talking, he was talking. But they didn't know that either. So anyway, when Pam came along, it changed vibration. Dr. Kruger changed roles and became this go-between spokesperson. So he's kind of special. And Lily's special because she's passed on, and she does the healing directly after Dr. Kruger normally. And she's really funny. She goes, hello, hello. She's a high-pitched voice. I love you, that kind of very upbeat, and a cockney. And then I never know who's going to come through. It could be their angels, their masters, but it's always appropriate for them to receive the love that they need in that moment. And it's also to open their third eye and their higher chakras, because there's at least 5 more above their crown. And that's the way I channel, is through those higher chakras. Those beings never take me over, and that's the joy of it, thank goodness. For me, that I'm a conscious channel. So they say they use a voice box behind the neck, an invisible one. But they never take my whole body over, and they just talk, and I just allow them to talk, and as best I can with my ego to step back. So I don't intervene or interfere as best I can. And sometimes I don't even remember what they said, but I'm way back. And my voice changes per being, by the way. And it took me ages to get used to Dr. Kruger coming through, because he's got an Austrian accent.
Really?
Yes, I felt an idiot. I felt an idiot at the time. And I had to get over myself. He said, but he was a psychologist. So he said, but if you want to be in service, please let me through. And so that turned it around. I got over myself.
Exactly. I know how that can feel.
And sometimes children come through, and then I felt silly then because my voice would completely change into a child, but it's all part of the service. So I am in service. Exactly.
And well, a while ago I read, I think it is your 3rd book, I guess, The New DNA.
Yes. So my life changed yet again. I hope you can see that.
I've got it here as well.
Okay, so the new DNA, personal and universal transformation. So I'll just fill you in. I met my husband online in 2000. I was in London and he was in Rochester, New York. And he never thought he'd meet me, but the universe, I never thought I'd meet him really. But the universe pushed me out, and within 3 months of meeting him, we got married. And it was all destiny. It was just destiny. But he'd been DNA activated. And I didn't understand the term. I didn't know what was going on. And he'd been I don't know if you heard of Cryon. Lee Carroll channels Cryon. So in the 90s, he was doing that. And traveling with him was a doctor called Dr. Todd Overkaitis. And he would put groups together and give them DNA activations in a group. And he would say to them, well, wait a year to see how your life has changed for the better. And within a year, Rick met me. So hopefully that was for the better.
Wow.
But it certainly his life changed. And so in 2004, we were in England, Rick and I, my husband and I, and Dr. Todd Overkaitis was running a weekend workshop in Brighton, England. So we went, and I didn't know what I was doing there. He was doing pineal gland toning. He just sang. We just toned for 2 days.
Wow.
I knew something had changed, but I still couldn't put my finger on what I was doing there and what I had to do with the DNA. And then I went online to see if anyone was also offering DNA activations. And there was a lady in Florida. I was in England. I phoned this lady in Florida, got a session on the phone. And after that session, I thought, or during it even, oh, I've done all this before somewhere.
Yeah.
And the penny dropped. And I've done it ever since. I've offered them ever since, and I built on them. So I have 8 levels of DNA activations, which then moved into ascension and DNA activations. And I have 40, I've channeled 40, over 40 ascension activations. So
Wow.
that's how the DNA activation affected me. It opened me right up over a few years, and my whole soul group doubled, I think.
Yeah.
I was so excited. Oh, well, it is exciting, but you know.
Could you give a bit of an explanation what a DNA activation is?
Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah.
So in the first levels 1 and 2, I'm working with the first 12 strands. Now, Western medicine, science would only say we have 2 strands, and we're only working with 10% of those 2 strands, and that 90% they call junk. But in DNA activations terms, that junk is a cosmic link to all our latent talents, all our spiritual gifts, and all that we are to the cosmos. So these 12 strands may be invisible, but they're multidimensional.
Yeah.
So it needs an open mind for someone to come to receive an activation that this could be so. But that's what I'm tapping into, is opening up their latent talents and gifts in that 90%. So I'll give you an example. People have come and they say their third eye is more open. Another person came and became an artist and never knew he was artistic. Another lady came, she had warts on her hands, and she tried for years in England, and she spent so many pounds on, hundreds and hundreds of pounds on these warts. And after the activation, she prayed to the DNA to let the warts go, and they disappeared.
Wow.
In 1 week. But not only her warts disappeared, her daughter's warts disappeared in that same week.
That is interesting.
So my theory, I might be wrong, is that if you get activated, someone in your bloodline gets activated with you, or even people living with you get activated. Exactly. And I know that I've set up DNA activation appointment, and I know that before the appointment, it's already happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's stepping into the field of it.
Exactly.
And the intention of it.
Yeah.
And it's very, it's deeply activated by color, sound, and commands, and I use all of those.
Yeah.
So I like to use my voice. I mean, I'm a musician, so I find it quite easy to use my voice.
Yeah.
And in the first level 1 and 2, I actually use the 12 Hebrew statements or mantras for the 12 strands. And these have been channeled by Cryon years and years ago, the first 12 DNA strands.
Yeah.
So I chant the Hebrew just to set up the session.
Yeah.
And then I move into counting the strands. And the gift that the DNA activation has given me that I never knew I had, as I'm counting the person's strands, I'm getting information back from them. So I get to say, I get stuck to at number 5.
Yeah.
And suddenly I'm in a past life with them.
Yeah.
And I say, oh, do you understand this? Or you don't understand it? Let's let it go anyway. So it's like a really quickened form of hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
And I ask Saint Germain the Masters to come in and build a violet flame, and we breathe out whatever's stuck, whether that be this life, subconscious mind, Akashic records, DNA memory, we breathe it out as best we can. Yeah. So they do have reactions, just like you would have in Reiki, perhaps. You might get a cold afterwards, your emotions are coming up, but it's all temporary, it's not illness.
Exactly. Yeah.
Healing crisis.
Yeah.
But it's temporary.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's all been so interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah. And it makes so much sense that when you mentioned that it also changes relatives because they probably carry a part of their DNA.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
And it kind of shows that DNA is part of a quantum field, isn't it?
Yes.
And
There's so much. I mean, we're just tapping into, our brains don't understand all those multidimensional cells.
yeah,
But there's so much to understand.
yeah,
And we can only take one portion at a time. I think if we rushed it, it wouldn't do us any good.
yeah,
So we get what we're ready for in our understanding.
yeah,
And the more I know, the less I know, I reckon.
yeah, yeah,
But I do work specifically with the pineal gland and the master cell. And I do offer in classes a pineal gland activation. So I wouldn't mind, if you don't mind, me offering that to everyone on the recording.
that would be amazing. Yeah, that would be
So
amazing.
shall we do this now?
Oh yes, I'd love to.
All right, so I'm going to ask everyone to close their eyes when we do this. So if you don't mind, if you want to.
Yeah, I will join and I will close my eyes. Yeah.
Yes. So visualize your pineal gland, which is located approximately between the ears and behind the eyes in the center of your head. This is the place of the 7th chakra, and it's called the seat of the soul, or the God's eye, and said to be a real eye. It is the home of the spark of life, the spiritual part of us that gives our bodies life. So visualize your pineal gland as a ball of white light energy now. Inhale, maintaining the visualization. Then exhale, sharply shooting the ball of light down through your body, deep into the very center point of the earth. The center of the earth is beyond molten lava. It's like an inner sun. It's a significant energy and full of divine love. So after shooting your ball of light down into the earth, allow it a second or two to reach the earth's center, and then begin to inhale again slowly, feeling the energy coming up from Mother, from the core of her heart, then up into your body, back to the pineal gland. And so I'm going to ask you to repeat that 3 times. You exhale sharply, shooting the ball of light down through your body to the core of Mother Earth's heart, and inhale again, slowly, feeling the energy coming up from the earth, up your body and back to the pineal gland, and do it 2 more times, please. And then see your crown open to the light as the pineal gland becomes like the sun and full of light. The light from the sun of the pineal gland now shoots up out of your head like a fountain of light, and then fills all around your body, filling your meridians, nadis, chakras with light. Enjoy this beautiful cascade of light all about you and through your whole being. You are opening and healing your light body with more love and more light now. Enjoy this wonderful feeling of being light. Repeat this light fountain from your pineal gland 3 more times. Very slowly, very, very slowly. Open your eyes again. Feeling very grounded. Holding your feet to the ground, growing roots over your feet, making sure you're earthed. How are you feeling?
Beautiful. That was really beautiful. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. And very powerful when you, well, the whole visualization. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. So I hope everyone enjoys that.
Exactly. And I can imagine that when someone receives such an DNA activation, that it probably takes time to integrate it, doesn't it?
Absolutely, they say it either affects you the day after or
Yeah.
immediately, wait a month, wait a year, to see how your life changes for the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm feeling all
yeah, go
calm.
on. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So people can come to you for these DNA activations.
Yeah, in person or online. I can do it online easily.
Yeah.
Or on the telephone even.
Ah,
Don't
yeah.
have to see them even.
Exactly. Yeah.
So at the end of the activation, there's an expansion added in to your third eye and your crown and your aura.
Yeah.
And that's part of the activation.
Yeah.
I also work with the 46 chromosomes, making sure there's nothing hidden in there. But then on that, yes, go ahead.
Could you explain a bit about that?
It's just counting.
Uh-huh.
And I'm intuiting and seeing the pineal gland with the master cell, with the 46 chromosomes, and trusting that the information I'm getting is correct.
Ah.
Yeah.
So it's like as if you're reading the information from those chromosomes.
Yeah, it's like a computer.
Yeah.
In a way, isn't it?
Yeah.
We are computers in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. And what is a master cell? Could you explain that?
I'm not sure I can. I think it's just the one that would change the DNA, and then the RNA asks that the DNA, the telomere is capped on the 12 strands, for instance. And then I asked that everything that we've let go of be replicated in every cell of the body. And that affects the RNA, takes that message through.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's how I understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what you're basically saying is that we can influence our DNA by activating it and by
Yes. And simply, if you don't want an activation, you're being activated anyway by the sun, by our planets, because everything is shifting.
Yeah.
The sun is getting messages from the galactic center, and these impulses come through the electromagnetic plasma to our DNA, which then activates our bodies. We're changing anyway, but the actual verbal commands that I give pushes it along a bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So does that mean that it is important to go out and to feel that sun, to feel those rays,
yes,
or does it work?
It works anyway, but it's extra important to be in nature, isn't it? Yeah. And I'm not one, I wasn't brought up to be in nature, but I really appreciate being on the earth, my feet on the earth, hugging a tree. I really appreciate it so much more. And I never thought I would say that.
Yeah.
But yes, the sun, just being in the sun a little bit will help you tremendously.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's so wonderful to hear, because when I work with astrology, I also tune into the planets. Yes. And because I believe that they have, they're living bodies and they have consciousness.
Absolutely.
So I guess it's kind of similar what you are saying, isn't it?
Well, yes, I like astrology too. And I know that the new planet's coming to the fore, and it's all about us shifting into a new Earth, and all planets are shifting into a new and higher frequency. That all the universe is shifting, and universes are shifting. We are in an incredible time right now, which I didn't mention before, but that is probably why we are doing DNA activations, is in tandem with the shift and getting us ready for a new Earth human body.
Yeah.
And I hope to see that in my lifetime anyway. And it's the end of a 25,000-year cycle in the Mayan calendar.
Yeah.
It's the end of the fourth world in the Hopi ways, moving into the fifth world. And lots of religions have mentioned this time.
Yeah.
Lots of them. So it's the most magnificent time. We put our hand up to be here and witness this great change. And I do believe the outside world is, because there is so much light and so much shift, that the shadow self of the earth, of us, of the world, and who are governing the world, so-called governors of the world, are bringing up the shadows. And it has to be that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And in ourselves, I know that I'm still bringing up my shadow after 40 years.
Yeah.
And recently I've seen the deepest part of my shadows. I've been to some shamans and I've had the most incredible awakening in the last few months and realizations of how deep the underworld goes and how high the heavens go.
Yeah.
And to understand or begin to understand the gamut of vibrations and dimensions and also what happens with the underworld. Unfortunately, the light workers could easily be attacked by entities now, unfortunately, and I do wish people to know that they need to extra protect themselves.
Do you have any advice for people how to do that?
Well, something like Archangel Michael. Some people put God's armor on 3 times a day or 3 times at once.
Yeah.
Just to be aware if your moods start changing or if you're angry for a long period of time, you have to be careful that those entities or attachments don't jump in, and you don't always, they're devious.
Yeah.
So I have found, I always recommend this free YouTubes by Wayne Brewer. I don't know if you know them.
Yeah.
And they clear the attachments and the entities within 3 minutes. And they're intense, they're powerful, and they work. You might have to do it several times, and you need to do it regularly, really.
Yeah.
But if it goes deeper than that, I totally recommend the shamans I just met.
Yeah. Wow, wonderful. And when you mentioned about that our physical bodies are, well, being prepared to go into this new world, shape, and with all these activations, what do you think our bodies will look like? How will it improve our physical bodies?
I don't know if we'll even see our bodies.
Yeah.
I think realistically, I think we're just getting lighter.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, loads of people say we're moving into the 5D body. Well, what is the 5D body? Just a lighter version of us, I think.
Yeah.
But if we were to live in the 5D dimension completely, we would disappear.
Yeah.
And I think possibly that's something we could do in the future. But I think we're going back to a time that our DNA already has that memory. In Mu and Lemuria, we were lighter. We were angelic, I think, and we used to sing all the time to the earth.
Yeah.
So we remember somewhere in our DNA how to be lighter. The DNA knows exactly what to do.
Yeah.
It's beyond our conscious mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a remembering or something.
It is remembering. It's that 90% that we've forgotten. It's in that 90% of wisdom and intelligence in that area of the DNA.
Yeah. And can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Because you mentioned the shamans, and now I remember when it was like 2012 and people were talking about that shift. I remember that I received a lot of information about how the consciousness of the earth was changing, and that the poles were shifting, and that meant that a more female consciousness would enter on
Yeah.
earth. And now when I look behind you, I see this painting, and I believe that's Mary, isn't it?
Yes, I just recently started painting again, and I channel on and off. I've channeled Mother Mary all along, and I would like to share something she said in a minute. But yes, the Divine Mother, the Divine Feminine's coming in to rebalance us with the male and female. That's what I believe too.
Yeah.
It's very important that we have that balance.
Yeah.
And the same, going back to twin flames, it's very important that you have that male female balance running in you too.
Yeah.
From that perspective.
Yeah.
So shall I share this channeling with you?
Yes, please, please.
All right. You may want to close your eyes or not, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so this came through quite a while ago, but it's beautiful. Beloved children, return to your higher vision. Look out to the horizons and look out to the light that is now moving towards you, and you're walking towards it. It's a vast, vast realm of love. As you enter this realm of love, and know it belongs to dear Mother Mary, a Divine Mother. As you bathe in this love and this warmth, she walks towards you now and wraps you up. As she steps towards you, you feel her presence and you hear her words. Feel her love. Beloved children, I welcome you all. I rock thee at night and I help you feel Divine Mother entering your heart, helping you feel more secure, more balanced, more open to receive. I also wish to share with you a new gift that I feel is important for some of you, and it's to wrap yourself in a shawl of light. I give you this shawl of light, especially for your dream time and sleep time. As I wrap this shawl about you like a babe, you're going to feel extra protection. Especially at night, wrap yourself 3 times. On this shawl are diamonds, and diamonds that link with your light body and grid. The diamonds glisten at the crossover points of your grid and keep you in the light. The diamonds keep any lower thoughts from your mind and any lower thoughts that come in sleep state. They transform lower thoughts to the light. There is an extra large diamond for the back of your head, for this is the entry point of God's light, but it's also the entry point for lower thoughts from the world. This extra large diamond at the back of your head, where the neck meets the skull, will allow you to have peaceful sleep. I have created this for you, for it's so important that you're not affected by distortions in the atmosphere and the electromagnetic rays. These diamonds are of love, and this shawl is made from love. You can wear this shawl all day if you wish, but just a bit looser on your shoulders. I am Mother Mary, helping you remain in balance in your light body, to know your strength and courage and wisdom all of the time. God bless you as I help you remain in your light. Many blessings. Mother Mary.
Wow, that was really, really beautiful. And you know what? Somehow this connected the dots for me, because I see some synchronicities. Like I remember many years ago, during meditation, I saw the Green Tara, and she placed this diamond in my heart. And a few weeks ago, in the middle of the night, I woke up and I saw Jesus or the Christ, and he held that diamond and he brought it from my heart to the pineal gland.
Oh my goodness me.
And it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I didn't really understand, like, it felt like an initiation, but I didn't understand, like, what happened, what is the meaning. But now that you, share this channeled message from Mary, somehow it makes sense. And it's like bringing that heart consciousness to the pineal gland, to the divine consciousness, and connecting it. And now this week I did a surrogate session with B, and during that session we did this for a young child, and this child appeared to be a starseed child, and they called her a diamond. And the message that came through was that many children that they call diamond children are coming to the earth right now to help to raise the frequency of the earth and to help people to connect with their divinity. And now that you share this channeling, I think, oh my God, this really connects those experiences, like what happened a few weeks ago and what happened last week. And it's so beautiful that part of that message came through Jesus, like the male consciousness, and then last week the child, and then today the Mary. I think, wow,
that's amazing.
It's really amazing. It really feels that now I understand why we had to meet today to share our messages and your message.
Well, I want to share with you, I had a message in a BQH session about me being a diamond. Our soul is a diamond, and I'm polishing, this is the message for me, I'm polishing all sides of my diamond.
Oh, wow.
So our soul is our diamond.
Yes. So that's the meaning of the diamond. Our soul is the diamond.
Well, the soul lives in the heart, so
yeah,
that's how I see it.
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
Yeah, it is wow, isn't it?
That's really amazing. Yeah.
So I don't know if you're ready for my prayer.
Oh,
but
yes.
I am so into bringing through and sowing seeds for the new earth. I have been since 2008, since I learned the DNA activations. I've got more and more messages about the new earth and how beautiful it could be. After this stage of the opposite in the world, we're going to see something magnificent appear and blossom. I know it. I just know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So would you like me to say it now?
Yeah, please. And I will close my eyes again.
This is my favorite prayer for the new earth. I have a vision where all people are at peace, where every single person has food and a home, where all children are loved and educated to develop their talents, where the heart is more important than the head, where wisdom is revered over material riches. The world is ruled by justice, by love, by honesty, by respect, by equality, and by fairness. In this world, nature is honored. So all the waters flow pure and clear, and the air is fresh and clean. Plants, trees, and minerals are nurtured, and all animals are respected and treated with care and kindness. There is a lot of happiness and laughter, and humans walk hand in hand with angels. Thank you for the love, the understanding, the strength, and the courage to do our part in spreading the light. May the whole world come to ascension so all people can live in freedom and happiness from a higher consciousness, so people can follow their heart and soul and create their dreams, their heaven on earth, on the new earth. May it be so. May it be so. May it be so. Amen.
Beautiful. Wow.
Yeah.
I feel as if a lot has happened within this short frame of time.
Yeah.
And it's almost like as if no words are needed anymore, because there's so much to integrate right now. And I think this is probably my first interview that I spend a lot of time with my eyes closed.
Well, that's what I do best.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure that a lot of people may benefit from
I hope so.
this meeting and the energy that was transferred. And so I'm really, really grateful that you wanted to join me today and to share this.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And how can people find you? Can you mention your website?
Yes.
Yeah.
One of my websites is miracleshappen.bookmark.com.
Yeah.
I've also got an Etsy shop, and I think it's Angelic Ascension Spa.
Angelic
Ascension Spa.
Okay.
On Etsy, and I'll give you my email if they want to chat.
Yeah.
It's peaceangels@yahoo.com.
peaceangels@yahoo.com.
Yeah, so peace for Peace, Peace Angels. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. And I'll make sure that this information will come with the video, so people can find it.
Yes.
And,
thank you.
And well, thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Happy holidays.
Yes, you too. Thank you.